Welcome to the school committee meeting of October 28th, 2025. This meeting will be conducted remotely. Attendance by committee members will be remote, and remote attendance shall count towards quorum. This meeting is open to the public, but there will not be any public comment period tonight. The meeting is being broadcast by ECAT. I will ask for a roll call to confirm quorum. Jim?
Present.
Colleen?
Present.
Jackie, I am here. Lauren and Kelly will be a little late, so we're going to get going.
Lauren's here.
Oh,
I'm
great.
actually here.
Okay. Hi, Lauren.
Hi.
Okay, great. So we will get going. The first section of policies are all second reads and possible votes. We'll start with file KF, community use of school facilities. Mrs. Pruitt, I know there were some additional edits made based on the comments from the last reading of this. Do you want to go over those?
Sure, thank you. I've got a lot of clicks going on here. So if you see in your packet, we do have some redlined additions or subtractions. So for example, in the very first paragraph, after speaking with Director Kopaz, this is the following procedures. It does not list fees. That's going to be separate policy, or a separate document. So we deleted that. Then under number 1, we added in the way to contact the athletic department, how to find the information for contact information, to go to our website, and then they can click on the athletic department, and then the phone number will be there. And then also under the second bullet, to contact Olive Ames High School for direct contact information. And under the third bullet, visit again our website for contact information for all the other schools. So those are additions. Under number 3, under the first bullet, we with Director Kopaz, we took out in food service director because that's not applicable to this. And because of that, we inserted the word "and" next to athletic director. And then that's the only additions or subtractions suggested for your second read.
Does anyone have any questions or comments on the changes or on the policy in general? Okay, so I will take a motion to approve policy KF, community use of school facilities.
Proudler second.
Okay, I will make a motion to approve community use of school facilities.
So moved.
Okay. We're out of sync, but we'll get there. Roll call vote.
Proudler, yes.
Jim?
Hamilton, yes.
Lauren?
Loomis, yes.
Wiseman, yes. Okay. Great. Thank you very much. The next item is section I in the policy manual. So the first one is ID, which is the school day. If you remember, we just added language to refer to the time on learning, and we added a citation. We also deleted one of the sentences that was not currently the practice. Is there any questions or comments on ID?
Jackie,
Jim,
I
go
have
ahead.
a question.
Yeah.
This might be over analysis, but do you have to define major changes? Like what it constitutes a major change, or is that assumed?
What do you mean?
Sorry, the second paragraph. The superintendent is authorized to make minor changes in opening
sorry.
and closing times to simplify transportation scheduling. However, major changes in schedules will be subject to committee approval. I guess maybe it's assumed, but I was just curious.
Yeah, I think I don't know, to tell you the truth, whether we really need to make that more, if we need to define that or not. I kind of feel like leaving it a little more general is maybe more flexible. I mean, the school start time, all those kinds of decisions are committee decisions. It's not something the superintendent could do. Time on learning, hours in the building, all that stuff is by law. So there really aren't any other major changes that I can think of. Mrs. Pruitt, I don't know if there's anything else you want to add?
Yeah, think, I'm thinking of, for example, what happened at Oliver Ames and how Principal Kavanaugh brought the changes to school committee, when it came to adjusting the schedule, that and sought feedback from and has been provided updates on the change of schedule as well. I think that those are the types of, when we talk about major changes, when you're essentially, if you're adding, changing times to a period here and there, I don't think would be considered major, but if you're actually essentially redoing a schedule, those would be major changes. I think the example that we had at Oliver Ames is a perfect example.
Does that satisfy you, Jim, or do you want to see some edits into the policy?
No, that makes sense. It was just something that stuck out to me that I wanted to ask.
No, I appreciate it. All right, so I will take a motion to approve policy ID school day. I will ask for a motion. Okay, I will make a motion to approve policy ID school day. Do I have a second?
Hamilton,
Prouder
second.
second.
Roll call vote.
Prouder, yes.
Hamilton, yes.
Loomis, yes.
Wiseman, yes. Thank you. Next policy, IHB, special instructional programs and accommodations. So if you remember, the only change to this was in paragraph 2, the second to last sentences. We changed the age from 21 to 22 to be consistent with the law. Are there any questions or comments about that? Okay, so I will make a motion to approve policy IHB, special instructional programs and accommodations. Do I have a second?
Second, Loomis.
Roll call vote.
Prouder, yes.
Hamilton, yes.
Loomis, yes.
Wiseman, yes. Next, policy IHBF, homebound instruction. In case you, if you remember, the first paragraph was revised by Director Davidson. Are there any questions or comments about this policy? Okay, I will make a motion to approve policy IHBF, homebound instruction. Do I have a second?
Second, Loomis.
Roll call vote.
Prouder, yes.
Hamilton, yes.
Loomis, yes.
Wiseman, yes. Thank you. Next policy, IHBG-R, home school policy guidelines. This is a second reading to delete. We don't need this in our policy manual. These are guidelines that are with Assistant Superintendent Pruitt. Any questions or comments? Okay, I will make a motion to approve the deletion of policy IHBG-R. Do I have a second?
Second, Loomis.
Roll call vote.
Prouder, yes.
Hamilton, yes.
Loomis, yes.
Wiseman, yes. Next policy, IHCA summer school. There was the deletion of the last sentence in the first paragraph because that didn't reflect the actual program that we ran. Any questions or comments about this policy? I will make a motion to approve policy IHCA summer school. Do I have a second?
Hamilton, second.
Prouder, second.
Roll call vote.
Prouder, yes.
Hamilton, yes.
Loomis, yes.
Wiseman, yes. Next policy is IIB, class size. We deleted the last sentence of the policy, which said final class size decisions rest with the committee, since it does not. That's not reflective of how we, not reflective of our practice. Does anyone have a question or comment about this? All right, I will make a motion to approve policy IIB, class size. Do I have a second?
Hamilton, second.
Roll call vote.
Prouder, yes.
Hamilton, yes.
Loomis, yes.
Wiseman, yes. Next policy, IJK, supplementary materials selection and adoption. This is a second reading to delete. Mrs. Pruitt has advised us that this is not our actual practice and recommends that we delete this. Does anyone have any questions or comments? All right, I will make a motion to approve the deletion of policy IJK, supplementary materials selection and adoption. Do I have a second?
Hamilton second.
Roll call vote.
Crowther, yes.
Hamilton, yes.
Loomis, yes.
Wiseman, yes. Next policy, IJL, library materials. There were several edits throughout the policy. They were revised by Mrs. Pruitt to mirror what our practice is. Does anyone have any questions or comments? Okay, I will make a motion to approve policy IJL, library materials. Do I have a second?
Jackie, sorry, I have one thing.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
It might just be a templating thing because I have this open in Google Docs or conversion from Microsoft to Google Docs, but the numbering looks off. I don't know if that.
So if you're looking at the document that I sent you, don't even look at the formatting because
okay.
that was, but we'll make sure it's formatted correctly.
I don't know if that matters, but yeah. Okay, that's fine then.
Okay, so do I have a second?
Hamilton second.
Roll call vote.
Crowther, yes.
Hamilton, yes.
Loomis, yes.
Wiseman, yes. Yeah, I copied and pasted, so the formatting is definitely not reflective of how it shows up in the actual policy manual. Policy IJM, special interest materials selection and adoption. This was just a couple of minor edits in the second to last sentence. Any questions or comments? I will make a motion to approve policy IJM, special interest materials selection and adoption. Do I have a second?
Second, Loomis.
Roll call vote.
Crowther, yes.
Hamilton, yes.
Loomis, yes.
Wiseman, yes. Thank you. Okay, policy IJNDC-R. Website guidelines and procedures for approval. This is the second reading to delete. This doesn't need to be in our policy manual. The information will be on our district website. Any questions or comments? I will make a motion to approve the deletion of policy IJNDC-R. Do I have a second?
Second, Loomis.
Roll call vote.
Crowther, yes.
Hamilton, yes.
Loomis, yes.
Wiseman, yes. Policy IJNDE, bring your own device technology policy and agreement. Based on our, there were a couple of edits throughout, but based on our, I'm just trying to find mine. Based on our comments last time, I have revised it slightly. So you'll see under devices, it'll say personal, portable, wireless devices, and then including laptops, pads, iPads, iPods, cell phones, and in the parentheses, I crossed that out. Is that reflective of what the committee would like? Okay.
Yes.
So I will make a motion to approve policy IJNDE, bring your own device technology policy and agreement with the additional edit. Do I have a second?
Second, Loomis.
Roll call vote.
Crowther, yes.
Hamilton, yes.
Loomis, yes.
Wiseman, yes. Policy IJOC, school volunteers. There were really just minor edits to clean up the language on this. Any questions or comments? I will make a motion to approve policy IJOC, school volunteers. Do I have a second?
Crowther, second.
Thank you. Roll call vote.
Crowther, yes.
Hamilton, yes.
Loomis, yes.
Wiseman, yes. Thank you. Policy IKE, promotion and retention of students. There were just some minor language changes throughout, a couple of corrections of language that was missing. Any questions or comments on this? Okay, I will make a motion to approve policy IKE, promotion and retention of students. Do I have a second?
Second, Loomis.
Roll call vote.
Crowther, yes.
Hamilton, yes.
Loomis, yes.
Wiseman, yes. Policy IKEF. This is the new policy, competency determination. Mrs. Pruitt?
Yes, Principal Kavanaugh is here to answer any questions in regards to what was presented to you last week. There is no major change. There is no changes made to the policy that was presented to you.
Does anyone have any questions for either Mrs. Pruitt or Mrs. Kavanaugh? Okay, great. So I am going to make a motion to approve policy IKEF, competency determination. Do I have a second?
Crowther, second.
Roll call vote.
Crowther, yes.
Hamilton, yes. Lauren?
Loomis, yes.
Wiseman, yes. Thank you. The next policy, IKF, graduation requirement. Mrs. Pruitt?
Again, Mrs. Kavanaugh is here to answer any questions. Again, this was presented to you last week, and there have been no changes since the presentation last week. But there were changes made, but those were presented to you last week, and that you can see what the changes were that are itemized in red on the policy in your folder.
Does anyone have any questions either for Mrs. Pruitt or Mrs. Kavanaugh? And when this gets put into a policy manual, obviously I'll edit it so that it's a clean copy that everyone has. All right, so I will make a motion to approve policy IKF, graduation requirements. Do I have a second?
Second, Loomis.
Roll call vote.
Crowther, yes.
Hamilton, yes.
Loomis, yes.
Wiseman, yes. Thank you, Mrs. Kavanaugh.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
guys. I'll see you later. Have a good rest of your meeting.
Thanks.
Bye.
Policy ILBA, district program assessments. There were just some minor wording changes in this. Does anyone have any questions or comments on this policy? Okay, so I will make a motion to approve policy ILBA, district program assessments. Do I have a second?
Crowther, second.
Roll call vote.
Crowther, yes.
Hamilton, yes.
Loomis, yes.
Wiseman, yes. Policy IMB, teaching about controversial issues, controversial speakers, based on a comment by Mrs. Pruitt in the last meeting. There is one additional edit. Under number 1, the sentence now reads, controversial issues selected by teachers for classroom discussion must relate directly to the objectives and content of courses in relation to the Massachusetts curriculum frameworks. Does anyone have any questions or comments on this? Okay, so I will take, I'm sorry, go ahead, Jim.
Jackie, sorry, in the first paragraph, I'm not an English major, but the last sentence, it says to ensure, or starts with, should that be EN?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
thank you. We will make that
Correct.
change.
As someone who uses Ensure a lot in my writing.
I have another tab open. I had to Google it before I said anything. I'm like,
Good
I'm
for
pretty
you.
Sure, pretty sure I'm
Good
right.
job.
All right, so I will make a motion to approve policy IMB, teaching about controversial issues, controversial speakers, with the additional revision. Do I have a second?
Crowther, second.
Roll call vote.
Colleen, you're first.
Colleen?
Crowther, yes.
Hamilton, yes.
Loomis, yes.
Wiseman, yes. Okie doke. On to policy section A. Policy AD, vision, theory of action, and core values. We revised the vision. Any questions or comments on this revision? All right, I'll make a motion to approve policy AD, vision, theory of action, and core values. Do I have a second?
Second, Loomis.
Roll call vote.
Crowther, yes.
Hamilton, yes.
Loomis, yes.
Wiseman, yes. Policy ADDA
Jackie,
dash.
can I just ask
Yeah,
one question?
go
I'm
ahead.
sorry.
Sure.
I'm just looking at these and the dates will all be updated. Is that correct?
Yeah, so
Okay.
once all of these approved, I go in and I add in where it
Perfect.
says revision. It might say, I don't know, March 2023. I'll put in today's date,
Great.
the
Okay.
vote date. Yeah,
Great,
they'll all
thank
be
you.
revised. Sure. ADD-R DCJIS model query policy. This is a second read to delete since this just restates regulations, and we do have a query policy ADDA. Any questions or comments about this? I will make a motion to approve the deletion of policy ADDA-R DCJIS model query policy. Do I have a second?
Hamilton, second.
Roll call vote.
Second,
Crowther,
Loomis.
yes.
Hamilton, yes.
Crowther, yes.
Lauren?
Loomis, yes.
Wiseman,
Can you hear me
yes.
now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Thank you. Policy ADF wellness guidelines. So if you remember, these have been recently written, and I just added the meal modification policy into this policy. Any questions or comments about that? Okay, so I will make a motion to approve policy ADF wellness guidelines. Do I have a second?
Second, Hamilton.
Roll call vote.
Crowther, yes.
Hamilton, yes.
Loomis, yes.
Wiseman, yes. Policy section B. First policy is BBBA/BBBB. School committee member qualification oath of office. So if you remember, we just updated the second paragraph to reflect the actual practice, and we took out the last sentence, which really wasn't necessary because we have other policies dealing with all of that. Any questions or comments about this policy? All right, I will make a motion to approve policy BBBA-BBBB, school committee member qualification oath of office. Do I have a second?
Crowther,
Hamilton,
second.
Roll call vote.
Crowther, yes.
Hamilton, yes.
Loomis, yes.
Wiseman, yes. Policy BDD, school committee superintendent relationship. If you remember, the only addition was under number 1, the end of that paragraph. We just added an exception under urgent circumstances. Does anyone have any questions or comments about this? Okay, I will make a motion to approve policy BDD, school committee superintendent relationship. Do I have a second?
Hamilton, second.
Roll call vote.
Crowther, yes.
Hamilton, yes.
Loomis, yes.
Wiseman, yes. Policy BDE, subcommittees of the school committee. If you remember, we just took out number 2, which had the school committee chair appointing subcommittee chair people, which is not what our practice is. Any questions or comments on this policy? I will make a motion to approve policy BDE, subcommittees of the school committee. Do I have a second?
Crowther, second.
Roll call vote.
Crowther, yes.
Hamilton, yes.
Loomis, yes.
Wiseman, yes. All right, so the next 2 policies, they were 4 policies. So they're on school councils and school improvement plans. So school council BDFA. So this is a combination of the old BDFA and BDFAE2. I followed the format, if you remember, from MASC to combine these policies. There was just some minor edits, but there was one thing that I forgot to point out to you in the last meeting that's important in this policy. That is a change. Pursuant to Mass General Law 7159C, the superintendent shall review and approve the school improvement plan after consultation with the school committee. It is not in the law that the school committee actually votes on these plans, which was news to me because we always vote on them. So moving forward, I'm not sure how this is really going to be any different in practice. They're still going to be presented to us. We can still make comments on it. It just means we don't have to vote on it. If, for example, and we'll go into this next one. So if, for example, there was a school improvement plan that the school committee had problems with, or the superintendent had problems with, it would then go back to the school council. It would then go back to the superintendent, and it would then come back to us. So it's the same practice. It's just taking out the vote. Are there any questions or comments on either BDFA or BDFAE1?
I think you could still vote on it just to show your support, but I don't think, I think that it's just taking it out of the policy because it's not in the law is you know, warranted.
Yeah, that's fine too. We can do whatever the committee wants to do. Okay, so I'm going to make a motion to approve policy BDFA. Do I have a second?
Crowther, second.
Roll call vote.
Crowther, yes.
Hamilton, yes.
Loomis, yes.
Wiseman, yes. I am going to make a motion to delete former policy BDFAE2. Do I have a second?
Crowther, second.
Roll call vote.
Crowther, yes.
Hamilton, yes.
Loomis, yes.
Wiseman, yes. I'm going to make a motion to approve policy BDFAE1, school improvement plan. Do I have a second?
Crowther, second.
Roll call vote.
Crowther, yes.
Hamilton, yes.
Loomis, yes.
Wiseman, yes. I am going to make a motion to delete policy BDFAE1. Do I have a second?
Crowther, second.
Roll call vote.
Crowther, yes.
Is that, I'm sorry, is that the one that you just approved?
No, so all right, so I know it's confusing. So we have a policy now, BDFA.
Yep.
This is a combination of BDFA and BDFAE2. Then we have policy BDFAE1. I'm sorry, so that should have been 3. And sorry, so I'm going to change the motion. I'm going to make a motion to delete. Thank you for pointing that out, Mrs. Pruitt. Delete policy BDFAE3. Do I have a second?
Crowther, second.
Roll call vote.
Crowther, yes.
Hamilton, yes.
Loomis, yes.
Wiseman, yes. Thank you very much. Policy BEDD, rules of order. Pursuant to our meeting last time.
Jackie, sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
Do we have to look at, I'm just going down the list.
Yeah.
BEDB is in boy, agenda format.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Okay. I don't know why I didn't have that. Okay, thank you. BEDB agenda format. So based on the conversation at the last meeting, I did make some additional edits. So if you remember, our legal counsel suggested we take out the language saying that school committee members, if there were 3, an agenda item can be forced on, because that could indicate a violation of the open meeting law. So the language was changed to the committee can override the chairperson by majority vote at an open school committee meeting to change the agenda. So that way the process is still there. It's just done in a safe way. Does that satisfy what you guys wanted? Okay, so I will make a motion to approve policy BEDB, agenda format. Do I have a second?
Proudler
Hamilton,
second.
Roll call vote.
Proudler, yes.
Hamilton, yes.
Loomis, yes.
Wiseman, yes. Okay, now we'll get to BEDD, rules of order. Again, there were some comments the last meetings, so I made a couple of additional edits. So under number 2, I kind of changed the language that says members should only use personal technology during the meeting for reviewing meeting materials or under personal urgent circumstances. So does that satisfy the comments from last time? Okay, so I will make a motion to approve policy BEDD, rules of order. Do I have a second?
Proudler second.
Roll call vote.
Proudler, yes.
Hamilton, yes.
Loomis, yes.
Wiseman, yes. Policy BEDG, minutes. Again, this was just to include under number 1, the type of meetings, in-person, hybrid, or remote. Any questions or comments? Hi, Kelly. Any questions or comments on this? Okay, so I will make a motion to approve policy BEDG minutes. Do I have a second?
Hamilton, second.
Roll call vote.
Proudler, yes.
Hamilton, yes. Oh, did
Did
Lauren
we
fall
lose
off?
Lauren? I think
Maybe.
we lost Lauren.
Percy,
Yeah,
Kelly?
she's actually, there was 2, so I was trying to figure out which one is her. So she's back in the waiting room, so I'm
Okay.
promoting her. Here
Oh,
she
here
comes.
Thank you.
Hey, Lauren, you're up.
Loomis, yes.
Kelly?
Percy, yes.
Great. Okay, where are we? That was not it. BGE, policy dissemination. There were just some taking out some language that didn't reflect our current practice. Does anyone have any questions or comments on this policy? I will make a motion to approve policy BGE, policy dissemination. Do I have a second?
Hamilton, second.
Roll call vote.
Proudler, yes.
Hamilton, yes.
Loomis, yes. Percy, yes.
Wiseman, yes. Policy BIA, new school committee member orientation. It was just some wording was changed. Really minor stuff. Any questions or comments on policy BIA? All right, I'll make a motion to approve policy BIA, new school committee member orientation. Do I have a second?
Percy, second.
Roll call vote.
Proudler, yes.
Hamilton, yes.
Loomis, yes. Percy, yes.
Wiseman, yes. Policy section C, there was just one. Policy CBI, evaluation of the superintendent. Based on comments at the last meeting, I included in the second to last sentence of the first paragraph under Department of Elementary and Secondary Education, the abbreviation DESE. Any questions or comments on this policy? I will make a motion to approve policy CBI, evaluation of the superintendent. Do I have a second?
Percy, second.
Roll call vote.
Proudler, yes.
Hamilton, yes.
Loomis, yes. Percy, yes.
Wiseman, yes. Okay, so we have a couple of first reads.
The only thing is,
Oh, go ahead.
Jackie, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
the middle school pathways,
Yeah,
that one is not on the list.
didn't we vote on it and approve it at the last school
The
committee
second
meeting?
one we did, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
So many policies, I apologize.
I know. Tell me about it.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
The deadline for
Um,
submission is on Saturday, so
Oh,
Thank you.
okay. So JRA, so this is student records. So I had both legal counsel and Mrs. Pruitt reviewed this and added some language, which you can see there's a second paragraph that was added, as well as a last paragraph, a last sentence, and then some citations.
Sorry.
Again, this is a first read, but does anyone have any questions or comments about the policy in general or the language that was added?
I'm having trouble locating that one. What is it again? JRA?
JRA, student records.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay.
There's the
page
difference.
51 in the.
Thank you. Yep, thanks. So sorry, you added which piece? Because I can't see that.
Okay, so the second paragraph, which says directory information may be released without consent of an eligible student or student's parents, provided that the school provides such notice in a manner consistent with the law, which includes the option to opt out of sharing information as noted in the cited regulation. And then in the last sentence of the policy, it says, the information in this policy should not be considered as providing any rights or imposing any responsibilities in excess of the actual student record regulations found at, and then the citation.
Okay. Thank you. I realize now it's the underlined. I was looking for the color coding.
Oh, that's
But
okay. Questions, comments about this? Okay, so I'll have a second read. IMK.
Can I, sorry,
No, go ahead.
one thing. Just because we have this conversation sometimes. So you say in a notice, such notice in a manner consistent with 603 CMR, and then it explains that concludes the option to opt out. Do we think that regulation changes frequently and it's going to put us in any level of like having to do policy maintenance? I appreciate explaining the legal elements because parents don't always know how to go cross-check against 603 and what have you, but I'm also wondering if we're opening ourselves up to like then having to update this document more regularly.
Well, unfortunately, with many of these policies, they all have at the end citations to different laws. So when laws change, we have to go in and change them anyway.
Okay, I just didn't know if we wanted the explanation of what the law had, if it was adding complexity. It was good for people.
Yeah.
I didn't know if it was adding complexity to us.
I'm trying to, I did this so long ago, I just can't remember. I can't remember if it's kind of like a voluminous, I can look that up though, and I can, you know what, for the next reading, I will have that information for you.
All right, not a huge deal. I mean, I can look it up.
No, it's okay.
I am very comfortable with the way you wrote it. I am expressing no concerns other than I didn't know if by explaining that it includes the option to opt out, but then that could vary a lot. We were like opening ourselves up to maintaining language that was actually just part of the law, because sometimes we try to avoid that.
Yeah, no, I'll definitely have that a better explanation for you at the next reading for this.
Yeah, the law is now stating that you really need to actually provide the language that opt-out is necessary. And so I think the question is, does it need to say 603 there, or can it be a citation, right? Like how we cite some of them.
Can it just say 603 and stop and not explain that 603 gives you the option to opt out in case 603 has much more complexity to it? That was
my understanding of it is that we have to actually state opt out.
Okay. Then all good. Thank you.
Thank you. So IMK, religious holidays. So this was one of the policies that when MASC went through our policy manual years ago, they yanked out for some reason. Putting this back in, obviously we need this. We had Mrs. Pruitt revise or look at this. One revision is number 6, to take out that last sentence, because the implementation of all of our policies is up to all of our administrators, so it didn't seem necessary to have that language in this specific policy. Does anyone have any questions or comments about this?
I do.
Go ahead.
So we've continuously received feedback since we started having more school days on religious holidays. I feel like we have received feedback. My kiddo had a quiz that day. There was a test that day. There was a review for a test that day. So even though it wasn't the actual test, they feel like they missed something super important. So I guess a few questions I have is, first of all, in concept, I love the policy and I'm glad we're putting it back in. But second of all, I'm wondering if we need to be clearer about the expectation of when a student notifies that they will be out for a religious holiday, so that it's clear to the staff that they need to be accommodating that, or if there's an expectation that each building will review religious holidays and be very intentional about scheduling. I'm just wondering if we need to effectively be clearer on the process a little bit more, so that it's, because this is great in concept, but then what? Like, what if they feel like they have a quiz, they're missing something major, they feel pressure around it? I don't know if we've given enough in this to make it clear on what we're asking of staff and what we're asking of families in terms of that sort of notification and exchange process.
So are you thinking maybe to give like in terms of the student part of this, of having students give a certain amount of days notice, and then on the other end of it, of saying they have a certain amount of days to make it up? Or is that what is I'm not talking about the staff issue, I'm talking about the student part of it.
Yep.
Is that what you're looking for, something more like that?
I'm wondering if by being a little bit more prescriptive in the process, or requiring that we be more prescriptive in the process in the handbook or something along those lines, if it would enable an easier exchange of this. So, families who are going to be absent for a religious holiday should notify staff a certain number of days in advance and then make the appropriate accommodations in terms of workload. Then it's very clear, and it's not, because not all holidays are known either. Like, it's not, some individuals are celebrating holidays that may not be on staff's radar. If a student walks in and says, oh yeah, I didn't do that project because it was a religious holiday for me yesterday, and now you need to accommodate me, how would they know that? But if families kind of document that in advance, then it might make it easier for both the student and the staff to have a productive conversation, as opposed to like, you didn't respect my holiday and you scheduled something on my day, and all the things that could go into that. Because I think that's the after the fact moments that people struggle with. But in fairness to staff, how would they know? Chrissy, please help me.
Yeah, sure. So I think it's important to note that this policy does acknowledge that things may be scheduled on those days. Not major events, but there could be a quiz scheduled on a holiday. I think what's important here is that there are opportunities for the student to make it up without being penalized. I worry about putting an onus in a policy on a parent, because we don't have control over that. And the parent may, like, we can say to our staff, make sure you know this policy, and they are provided with, the Human Rights Committee does give us a calendar that we cross-check and provide to staff. So I think that the staff are very aware of, acknowledging that if an assignment is given on a holiday, they have the opportunity to make it up. In some cases, the teacher may overlook it, and then the parent will reach out to the administrator, and it gets resolved. I think if we say in this policy, the parent must, or the family member must reach out to the school to notify them, some parents may not realize that they need to do that. They will not have read the policy. I'm just cautious of putting something about a parent's obligation or family member's obligation in a policy of ours.
I mean, it could be the student's obligation. I guess what I'm reading and reacting to is there's a line that says provisions should be made for students who expect to be absent to get assignments that might be necessary ahead of time and to have classwork reviewed by teacher.
Right.
So the thinking I had on that is if you're going to expect ahead of time, you can't walk in the day before the religious holiday as a kiddo and be like, hey, by the way, I need all the assignments for tomorrow today because tomorrow's my religious holiday. There has to be, like, I was thinking through some sort of, students and or their respective caregiver should notify staff a couple of days in advance so that the appropriate accommodations can be made. Just something so that it's not difficult for people to implement, because right now it's vague enough that I could totally see a high schooler walking in the day before and being like, hey, totally forgot to tell you, but tomorrow's a really important day. I need all the stuff today. I need you to review my stuff right now for this thing. And it's like, whoa. I need some level of courtesy. So I don't know how to think about that exactly, but I just want to make sure it's mindful and reasonable and respectful on all parties, that they can celebrate the holiday and that staff has some idea that this is coming.
What
I don't
about
know if,
something like when appropriate notice is provided?
Yeah.
And we have a policy subcommittee meeting next week, so we can kind of talk about the language and try to figure out a way to get a little more detail in there without putting too much of an onus on families.
Yeah, I don't want it to be burdensome. I just want it to be clear. 'Cause sometimes when there isn't clarity, everyone ends up frustrated, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you get the parent calling saying, hey, my kid walked in the day before the religious holiday and asked to take the quiz early because they were going to be out. And meanwhile, the staff member's like, well, I had no idea. So, because you asked me without me having known that I need to have the quiz ready, right? And then it becomes a, well, you knew it was a religious holiday. Why didn't you magically know my child was planning to celebrate? Right? Which is hard on everybody's part.
Yeah, no, we can definitely look at that. Thank you for that feedback. Does anyone else have any comments or questions about the policy? Go ahead,
Jackie,
Jim.
may I ask the context why it was originally taken out or recommended to be taken out?
All right, so it wasn't. What happened was when the last superintendent hired MASC to go to do a policy review, the gentleman who did it, who I don't think still works for MASC, just randomly pulled out policies that he didn't think were necessary. There was no explanation. And then when we started going through and we started seeing policies missing, that's kind of how this whole thing started, because we realized that everything they had done with good intention wasn't really matching up to what we needed. And so we started having to dig through what they had deleted, what they hadn't deleted, what makes sense, what doesn't make sense. And so, and the reason I pulled all of the policies off the website is because under the school committee tab, the policy manual was as is, but then there was another section on the district website where there was a policy manual that was before policies were taken out. So there was just a lot of inconsistencies. That's why I pulled them all off the website until we could go through this, get everything settled, so that we're not making administrators and parents trying to sort through this and figure this out. There was no good reason for taking this out.
Okay.
And when we found out, we were a little horrified.
I didn't know.
Yeah, no, there was no good reason for taking this out.
I feel like at one point, like Good Friday used to be a holiday. I didn't know if this was like an attempt at neutrality of no religious holidays.
Yeah,
no special.
This came into being when Good Friday, Rosh Hashanah, and Yom Kippur were taken out of the calendar. This was you're exactly right. This was in response to that, to make sure that people still felt like they could keep their children home on their holidays without getting penalized. Of course, there's a lot more holy days other than those three, and we wanted to make sure everyone was able to do this for their faiths and not be penalized.
Can I just add something in response to what Kelly was saying? And I don't know if it was semantics or not, but I'm not sure there ever should be an expectation that if a student is going to be out for a religious holiday and they are missing a quiz, that the quiz or test or assignment is, or maybe the assignment, fine, but is given to them ahead of time before the rest of the students.
Well, it's not a, it must be. It says to get assignments that might be necessary ahead of time. It, I, I would imagine if it's a test or a quiz or something like that, they would not be getting it ahead of time, like you said.
I fully agree with you, Lauren. However, I have heard parents request that, so I think that's why the
Oh, really?
yes. And honestly, I've heard kids request it. And just let me give a moment of clarity on this. So in the high school, you drop a class. So not all kids always get the same quiz on the same day at the same time because you have a drop in class. So if you're in, Spanish and your B period and somebody else is in it in D, and just depending on the schedule, D might be taking it on Tuesday and B might be taking it on Wednesday. So it's not it's not unreasonable that a high schooler would go, well, my peers took it today, you have it ready, may I please take it, because I want to not have to study on my holy day, right? And that's like, from a high schooler standpoint, it makes perfect sense in their brain. Or they have a teacher who says, hey, I've got all these quizzes mapped out, and so they're like, yeah, can I get it done so I'm not studying on the holy day, because that's sometimes like a level of angst. So it's you might have a kid who asks for that, but it's not fair to walk in B period and go, can I sit in the back of the class for 10 minutes and take my quiz without having had that discussion with the teacher. So, but that does happen. Not everybody takes on the same day at that age. If that's helpful, Lauren.
No, I mean, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Kelly.
It sounds like language might be in number 3 to some extent already, like agreed upon date following the pupil's return to school. If that is maybe just the universal expectation, is whatever is due or whatever they expected to take is done when they return to school or something like that.
And I know there has been discussions about not making projects or tests or quizzes the following day for exactly what you said, that they don't feel like they have to do that work or study for that test on their holy day. Even though it's not like completely written out here, I know that I've been understanding. I don't know if that's been a problem or not.
I think as kids get older, they learn how to manage, and they have to have the conversations and constructively work through it in an appropriate way with their teachers. And when they're younger, the parents might have to ask, but then they can have the appropriate conversations. That was my whole point of what I was trying to communicate, is that whole, like, just have the conversation. If you know you're going to be out for this event, make sure you have the conversation a couple days in advance so you can plan, you and the staff member can plan accordingly. Because the staff member might be out too to also celebrate. So they might, like, jumping in on them last minute might also be difficult for them because they want to celebrate with their families.
Yeah, we can definitely talk about that at subcommittee and try to bring something back to you guys. Thank you for all that input. It was very helpful. So just a couple more. Policy section D is all about budgets. Most of this information, a lot of this information is going obviously to Director Spagna, but there are a few that are just kind of general that we feel like we can review. So one of them is DBG, which is the budget adoption procedures. The added language that's underlined was to reflect the Mass General Law 7134. Does anyone have any questions or comments on this? Okay. DJG, I don't know why I have such a hard time saying these 3 letters together. Vendor relations. So we would like to delete this policy because this is really, it's not even in the MASC draft policies anymore, sample policies anymore. It's really addressed by the ethics law. And it's not necessary to have it in here, and we want the ethics law to stay with the ethics law. We don't want to make sure we're doing anything that's saying anything different. So I don't know if you guys have any feelings on this or not.
I support that. I think everyone has to go through the ethics training, so I think it's covered there. There's a law, there's training.
Okay. EEA, again, a lot of policy section E is being reviewed by administrators or legal. This is just a couple of that we feel like we can talk about. So file EEA is student transportation services. So again, just a minor edit in the last paragraph, just changing who gets notified or who works with the bus company to reflect our practice. Go ahead, Kelly.
Just a minor thing, but I feel like I'm channeling my inner Nancy. There is something odd going on with the bullets on that one.
Oh, yeah. So again,
You're late
Not
for the party, Kelly.
formatting is not like the formatting that's in the document I sent you is not the formatting in the actual policy manual, but I will make sure that everything is all good in the policy manual, as Nancy would say.
I have a question about this actually. So since
Yeah.
we contract out and it says that the bus contractors, they have to make sure that they're in compliance with qualifications and examinations of bus drivers. Do we do anything with Easton Public Schools as far as the Corey Story fingerprint? Do we maintain or have access to a database of those things, or that they have their school bus certificate, like, because it expires on an annual basis, right? So do we have access to that at the district level, making sure that all of the people who drive for us are current on all of their bus requirements?
But we can request that information at any time. It is in the contract that they are up to date with all of their certifications that are needed. Do you mean, do we have it on file in our office?
I don't know why, Chris, but it's every time you talk, you're like under everyone else is good, but you keep going underwater for me, and I don't know why.
I'm sorry.
But
Am
it sounds
I
like everyone
underwater
else
for
can
everyone
hear you,
else?
so I don't know what's wrong with my computer.
Am I underwater for everyone else or just for
I
Colleen?
can hear you clearly, but your microphone, it doesn't sound like you, but I can understand what you're saying.
It's the way it always sounds. It tends to like have an echo, like it's like you're talking into a tin can.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
I will put in a help desk ticket.
And I hear like whispering, and I hear a tin can, and I hear whispering, like very faint whispering, but everyone else sounds normal.
It's an adjustment on the sound, I think, Colleen. It's something where Zoom is trying to correct your sound. That's probably what it is. If you turn closed captioning on, you can tell what she's saying.
Oh, you're so brilliant. Let's do that. Closed captioning. Oh, and now it's telling me that I'm brilliant. I love that. Okay, thank you. All right, we'll try that again.
Okay, so it is in our contract with the transportation company that all Corys and any contract, any certification that the drivers need is up to date. We can request that information at any time. We don't have it on file here in our office.
Okay. I was just curious because I know, and I'm sure that the company does a great job monitoring that. I just know that if anything pops up in the clearinghouse or when they go to do their annual thing with R&B, like things change really quickly with the status of bus drivers for a variety of reasons. And that if one of them gets dinged for something and they miss it and our kids are on the bus, even though it's not our company, it's still parents will not care.
I will find out more exactly.
I was just curious.
I will find out more exactly around what the practice is on checking on that, and I will get back to you.
Thank you.
Yep.
Just writing down a note. Okay, great. The next policy is EFC, which is the free and reduced price food service. We want to delete this policy because all of this information is included in the wellness policy. It's not necessary to have this additional policy. Anyone have any questions, comments, thoughts on that? Okay. So these few first read policies, I'm going to try to mix into our upcoming 3 school committee meetings. based on our schedules over the next 2 months, I'm not going to try to schedule another policy meeting until January. Plus, we're waiting for most of the policies that are outstanding are either with administrators for review or legal counsel for review. So hopefully by January, I'll have a lot more, and I'm hoping we can get through this pretty quickly over the first couple of months of the year. We don't need to look at January dates right now. I can, get in touch with you guys to give you some offers of dates in the next couple of weeks, if that's okay, unless you want to do anything now. Okay, so I really appreciate your time again tonight. I'm going to make a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
Second, Loomis.
Roll call vote.
Wilder, yes.
Hamilton, yes.
Loomis, yes.
Percio, yes.
Wiseman, yes. Thank you all very much. Have a good night.
Thank
Thank
you.
you,
Everyone.
Jackie. Bye.
I'll try and get out of a tin can.